Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. I am seeing one thing going on out there consistently that is a major block. Do you know what it is? It's not lack of self-esteem. That's actually secondary to this. It's judgment. Yeah, it's happening big time. We are walking around constantly judging everything, one another, everything we see, judging ourselves, and it's destructive. Major league. So, and I've had to deal with this myself where stuff creeps in. You find yourself with an opinion that you could easily change. And seeing a situation a certain way that you could easily change. Now, and I'm not saying you have to go along with stuff that's negative people or whatever. But if you can see things differently, then I believe that your world, your reality will completely transform. You're going to go to a higher frequency. What is that? What's a frequency? Joy, love, happiness. You're raised onto a higher frequency. No obstacles in love. There's no obstacles in joy. Right? So have you ever had something really fabulous happen and you're like, you got the new job or the relationship, and all of a sudden the world's a wonderful place and nobody can bother you, and even the most annoying person, you're going, oh, that's so funny. Yeah, and then things aren't going well for you and you're like, oh, they're a jerk and that person bothers me. And then you harbor this anger in here and you get sick. And you get cancer, and your immune system goes down and all that stuff. That is what we're doing to ourselves. So when I see people, posting and telling me, but you don't know what I'm going through, they, blah, 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 fill in the blanks. I know that there's anger there that has nothing to do with the other person. It's a challenge that they have not worked through themselves, about how they feel about the world and their life and themselves. And a lot of times it's not, they haven't forgiven other people or themselves, or they harbor anger for their situations. They're blaming the outside world. And that's just a false belief. You cannot blame the outside world when you have this power to change anything you want, unless you don't believe that. All right, so here is an exercise for you, and that is, I'm going to start giving you more exercises to do, because I've noticed that these small practices seem to be really making a big difference for you guys. And I do this for myself. So one of the things, if you haven't seen this already, I always ask myself, if I have any negative feelings, especially toward another person, I stop and I say, what would the enlightened Landria do? How would the enlightened Landria think? And I know the enlightened Landria sees no problems, that has compassion for others, that just sees things as, part of the experience of this planet that is neither good nor bad. So if something negative happens and you find yourself going into that negative space and, you're irritated by somebody else, that's a judgment. So I stop and I say, wow, okay, how can I see this differently? That would be completely on the level of peace and compassion. You don't have to love the other person. Some of these people are tough to love, because ultimately you can't, I'm going to pretend I love them. Now, if you're not feeling it, don't push it. You know what? Just say, how can I see this as a more compassionate person without judging this? How can I see this so that it's a positive situation? All right, so the first one is, the situation that is being presented to you might be because you need to work on that. And that person's going to go away as soon as you resolve that issue that you need to work on. That person could completely just go away because you've solved the problem. I know somebody who's doing this. The annoying person's been there for 2 years. They've complained and told the people. Person's not going away, are they? As soon as you find compassion and you just let it go by like a cloud. Why are you angry? Why do you care what other people say? Let them talk till the cows come home. You know, bless them. And you know what? It's like, bless them. You know, no, okay, just don't go there. Just say, how do I handle this? You know, how do I go to that place of peace? And why am I getting pelted with this? Because there's something else going on here within me that's not in that peaceful, compassionate space, that's seeing the other as different to me. That is an aspect of you there. How can I see this differently? This person's not a problem. Why do I care what's coming out of their mouth? Really? Are they that important to you? Now you're giving them this importance, like blah, blah, blah. You know what? If you went on the street and you saw somebody you thought was crazy, those aren't crazy people. Then you thought, and they're babbling on, they're talking to somebody, which they probably really are talking to somebody, but, you know, blah, 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 and then she's on there, and you're going, and they say something to you, would you pay attention to them? No. You'd say, okay, they're in some other kind of little world in their mind, and you wouldn't try and have a logical conversation with them. So why are you treating other people like that who are in a deep, dark space? They're not in a loving, compassionate, high, enlightened, awakened space. So why are you talking to density? It makes no sense. And then the stuff they say is their perspective coming from that place. Neither good nor bad. It's just where they are. So why are you giving it credibility? Why do you care what other people say? All right, so we talked about the vegetarian thing. Somebody said, you don't understand. I had to defend myself about being vegetarian. Really? I'm so not going for that one, my friend. Do you like that attention? Sounds to me like something else going on. Why don't you just say, hey guys, I'm not going to go in on the shared plate. I'm going to have a salad today. Well, why not? Because I want a salad. You don't have to explain anything to somebody. You know, most of my friends don't even know I'm vegetarian. Well, my close friends know I'm vegetarian. I'll eat fish once in a while. My friends I've known for 10 years that completely forget that I don't eat meat. Why? Because I don't talk about it. I go to parties, and trust me, there's always plenty of food for me to eat. And more people are aware of that. I don't have to explain anything. Trust me, I'm not going to starve, ever. When you go into that, you're creating conflict. And you say, no, they are. No, you are. Because you can't have conflict unless you're battling it. It just passes through like a cloud. Right? What is it, Kung Fu? You know I always mess this stuff up. What's the one where you use the other person's energy and it just passes? And then they fall down. You don't even have to strike them. And that's what I want you to do. If you come to me and you ask these questions in email, I want you to do that through this video and do that practice and tell me how it works for you. You're going to be amazed. You're going to go, wait a minute. Why am I seeing conflict here? I get to choose if this is conflict or not. Or I could say, there's some crazy people, having fun. Don't have to be around it. You can see things differently and you just go, wow, this is just pure entertainment. Or remove yourself from a situation. So I've had it happen recently, and I saw a situation that was really negative in my viewpoint. It was lower density behavior, and I didn't feel like I should even be there. But then I thought, well, I am on this planet, who am I if I'm an awakened person if I can't be in that and be in peace? So here's my challenge. Make sure you go into peace, Landria, because that awakened you, the enlightened you, doesn't see a problem. And I realized, whoa, there was a trigger there. Because you can sit up on the mountain and meditate and be all that. Ooh, life is wonderful. Nancy Ray, you said, oh my gosh, she saw me really hurting from losing baby Coo. Kitty Coo got killed. He got killed. And she saw that pain that I was experiencing, not struggle, but pain in that loss. And she says, I didn't think anything ever went wrong for you. Nothing ever does go wrong for me. But I still experience being human. awakened, enlightened people do, though Dalai Lama does. He's on a super high level. He just doesn't react to it. He doesn't do anything with it. He sees it. He feels it. He feels anger. He says he feels angry, especially what's going on with his country and the people there. He feels the anger. He doesn't react to it or do anything with it. I feel sadness, but I don't get entrenched in it. I don't go into that deep pit. I cry. I allow myself to express. So when you keep it in here, anger and that stuff, and you push it back, that's not good. You're not dealing with it. It's still there. When it passes through, you see it, you experience it, you know what it is, it doesn't control you, and then it moves past. It's over with. It's over with. There's only now. So, ask yourself, what's the enlightened me? How would the enlightened me see this situation and view it? And how can I see this situation in a positive, awakened state? How can I... What other way can I see this situation? Here's a challenge for me. Here's the annoying person at work. All right, how am I going to be the all, well, I'm all awake and I'm meditating there doing that? No, you just separated yourself. So you're not going into the awakened state that you might think, because if you're seeing them is the negative enemy, the other, separating of conspiracy theory and all the crap that's going on. This is constant battle. You are fueling that negativity when you battle it. When you see other people, you say, they're doing this and they're doing this and the government and this. Screw them, man. Sorry. Why are you giving all those people so much attention and focus? They don't control you. You control you. Nobody tells you how to feel and think. It's time to step out, my friends. Take control of the thoughts, the feelings, the frequency, and say, this is the material world that is not real anyways. It's all a fabricated part of my reality that is to test me. If you think of it that way, imagine that every single thing going on is 100% a test for you. All of it. And you go onto the other side and you go, holy cow. Every single thing was just for me to evolve. How are you going to handle that? Every single thing is for you to evolve. And it is. That's how it... You didn't come here just to get the cars and the stuff. Win the lottery. All right? What are you here for? I told you one of my masters came to me. Ugh. He goes, why did you come down here to be with us? What? He reminded me. It's not for the woo-woo fancy life. There's another mission here. I'll tell you, this far exceeds anything that I could materially have. And, by the way, I flourished. Why? Because I'm so flowing with it. There's no battle to have it all the time. There's no battle to get more or to achieve certain things. I know it's there. And the biggest challenge sometimes is to just let it go. The ego wants to control everything, right? We want to control other people, situations. We want them to act a certain way. We want them to believe what we believe. Why? We think we're right. That is such a dense place. It really is. Let it go. We don't have the answers. We're all here in the same boat. We are all the same equally loved, amazing light beings in the same friggin' boat. You're not getting out of the boat. Go ahead, jump over. See how long you can tread water on your own. And when those seas get rough, those people in the boat are going to look pretty darn good when one hand comes out and pulls you in. We are in it together, my friend. Show that compassion for the other. See those situations as your tests to see it differently. We're always being tested. It never stops. It just becomes easier to see the situation and to catch yourself. And boy, it's a lot of fun. And it's a beautiful space to go into when you realize, wow, I really am outside of the matrix. I really stepped out because now I see what that is. Old triggers, old feelings, old beliefs, things I was told. That's not true. You have no limits. All this stuff people are making up, and you don't know if any of that's true. Who cares? What are you doing with your life right now? It's ticking, man. We've got linear time here. Whether it's real or not, it's not real. We know that we do age, that we do have certain things here, that we abide by rules so that we can experience being human. What are you going to do with it? We can transcend into places never done ever in the history of this planet, because we've reformed everything, recalculated, blown everything up. I don't know how many times. We're gonna do it this time. And I'm counting on you to raise that frequency. Stop the judgment. Stop the self. Let's see everything differently. How can I see this differently? How can I see this differently that eliminates the judgment and all of the bad feelings? What do I need to do right now to become the enlightened person, the awakened person that sees this in a compassionate, loving way, at least a peaceful way? Do it for you. You don't do it for you, you can't even possibly start telling anybody else what to do. But they'll come to you. People will come to you, and then you can help them. But you got to work on this first. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Did you like today's butt kicking? I'm going to do more butt kicking because I just see it's got to happen. It's got to happen. Do not wait. Don't wait till you lose something significant, because the universe is sending you exactly what you asked for, and that's to be a better person, an awakened person. And when things really go wrong, that is your opportunity to become that new, enlightened, abundant, peaceful person. Don't ever question the challenges that come in your life. What are you going to do with it? How will you see it? How will you use it? Become something powerful, because you're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. All of that exists right now for you. Choose it. Namaste.